It's Newsday from the BBC World Service. 6 minutes to the hour. Let's go to Australia now, where a 12-year-old boy has been caught by police attempting to drive across the country. He had already travelled 1,300 kilometres when he was stopped in Broken Hill, New South Wales. Let's talk to Tim Hatfield, news anchor at Southern Cross News, which broadcasts in Broken Hill. Welcome to Newsday, Tim.
Thanks for having me, Claire.
So, he'd got an awful long way before he was stopped. What was his undoing?
We had gone an awfully long way and was set to go even longer, but it seems that he had a bit of we'd call it a bingle down here, a bit of a little accident, and the bumper was dragging along the road, and that's what actually got police to stop him and realise this wasn't, in fact, a proper driver. It was a 12-year-old boy. So
it wasn't erratic driving, clearly that may have been spotted before then. It was just sort of a malfunction with the car.
Well, I don't know how well a 12-year-old is driving, but obviously something's gone wrong in his journey. But he did manage to get, as you say, 1,300 kilometres, which is about 800 miles from the east coast of Australia right inland to sort of the heart of the outback, and had he was planning a bit of a 4,000-kilometre trek. So, yes, he did come undone by a little accident. Who knows how far he would have got otherwise.
I mean, it's a pretty... The terrain that he went across is pretty treacherous, isn't it? Tell us about it.
It is. Broken Hill epitomises the middle of nowhere. It is out in the outback with not much around and just long, straight highways. Perhaps people in Europe might not be as used to this, but here in Australia we have these long highways that go through almost nothing for hours and hours and hours, and it can be very... The roads so much aren't dangerous. It's the fact you get so bored and you lose interest and you sort of zone out because there's not much there. It's Mad Max country. The Mad Max films were made out there, so it's pretty rough and pretty desert.
I'm guessing that's maybe where the bumper incident took place.
Yes,
we'll find out in due course, won't we? And tell us about the Nullarbor Plain. Is this what you're talking about?
No, the Nullarbor Plain is what he would have then gone on to. So he was into West. He had gotten into Broken Hill in the far west of New South Wales. He would have had to carry on through South Australia and then into Western Australia, and that's even bigger and even more of nothing. So Australia. The outback is a big, wide, open space with not much in between, and perhaps that's how he managed to get so far, is because he wouldn't have been really stopping in anywhere that populated. He could have just coasted on through. But the good news is we know that he's back with his parents now, and obviously police and probably the parents are looking into quite what happened.
Oh my goodness! And do we know, what have we heard so far?
Look, so far, obviously, because it's, a 12-year-old boy is a child still, not a lot is being released about it so far. We know that he took the family car on Friday morning, and he was reported missing by his parents, and then he was found about 12 hours later. Now, it's about a 14-hour drive, so I assume he must have stopped at some point along the way, and I guess that's something the police will be looking into now, is where did he stop? Did people at service stations realise there's a child filling up, because he would have had to fill up? So a lot of questions to be asked, and no doubt probably mostly from the parents. It's
interesting, isn't it? Because you have the kind of traditional Aboriginal walkabout, don't you? Which is a kind of rite of passage. This is sort of a modern-day version of it. It could be argued he took himself off.
I'm not quite plugged into that section of the community as well. But yeah, that's the thing a lot of people are saying. A lot of people, Aussies love and larrikins, so a lot of people are going, oh, good on you, mate. You've given this a shot. But I suppose other people are also saying, well, perhaps, maybe there's stuff behind the scenes we don't know about that spurred this chap on to head on this big drive. So still, as I say, the parents probably plenty of questions. The police a few as well.
Yeah, and the bumper may well be maybe second on the list after
right.
what possessed you to take the car and what's happened to the car.
Well, the parents came out to Broken Hill from their home in Kendall, which is on the coast, and they picked him up, and apparently, from what we understand, the car has been taken home as well. So everyone's safe and sound for now.
Good to know. And just remind us, what do you call a car accident in that part of the world?
A little car accident.
A little
when you
car.
Have a bit of a bingle.
You've had a bit of a bingle. Okay.
Yeah, a little,
If your bumper's hanging off, it's a bingle. We've learned something.
And your bumpers scrape along the ground. That's what it is.
Tim, thanks very much indeed. Tim Hatfield, their news anchor at Southern Cross News, which broadcasts in Broken Hill, which is where that 12-year-old was discovered. What a journey.
Bit of a bingle.
Bit of a bingle.
Fender bender.
Yeah.